Tonight on Cronkite News, the WNBA All-Star game kicks off in the Valley in just a few days. We'll tell you about its new format.
Plus, the Phoenix Suns and the Mercury host a kids' summer camp. We'll take you there.
And former President Trump announces his pick for vice president. We'll have a report from the Republican National Convention in Wisconsin coming up. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Jack Bartlett.
And I'm Katrina Villarreal. Thank you for joining us. The 20th WNBA All-Star Game will be hosted at the Footprint Center in Arizona.
Since its inception in 1999, the game has a storied history. Our reporter Joseph Furtado takes a closer look at the history of the event.
The WNBA All-Star Game made its debut 25 years ago in 1999 at Madison Square Garden. The inaugural matchup featured 23 of the league's top players from each conference, drawing a crowd of 18,000 spectators. Over 2 quarters of play, the Western Conference secured a 79-61 victory, marking their first ever win in the All-Star competition. Just a year later, Phoenix hosted the second All-Star game at America West Arena, now known as the Footprint Center, where the Western Conference won again in front of a crowd of 17,000 fans. Tina Thompson went on to be named MVP of the game. Now, 9 years later, in 2009, Nicole Powell became the first and only Arizona-born player to date to participate in the WNBA All-Star Game. Making her debut that year, Powell from Mountain Point High School represented the Sacramento team and scored 21 points. Arizona would host their second All-Star Game in 2014 at U.S. Airways Center. The game featured the only overtime contest in the event's history, with the East defeating the West 125-124 after a thrilling 25-point overtime period. At the 2017 All-Star Game, Sue Bird set the record for most assists in a game with 11, and the West 130-121 win over the East. Just a year later, in 2018, the WNBA changed the format of the All-Star Game for the first time in the event's history. The league implemented a pick-your-team format, moving away from the traditional East versus West matchup. Prior to the change, the West had dominated the East with a 10-3-1 record. Now, last year's WNBA game saw a new scoring record set, with Team Stewart defeating Team Wilson by a final score of 143-127. The two teams combined for a total of 270 points, the highest scoring WNBA All-Star game in history. Now, there was no shortage of scoring during the 2023 All-Star Game. Jewel Lloyd set a new scoring record, pouring in 31 points to surpass the previous high of 30 points. Phoenix will host their third WNBA All-Star Game at the Footprint Center this weekend. At the touchscreen, Joseph Furtado, Cronkite News.
The format for this year's All-Star Game will be a bit different from last year, the last time Phoenix hosted the event, when they had an East versus West conference showdown. This time, with the Paris Olympics opening ceremony on July 26, the All-Star Game will be Team USA versus Team WNBA All-Stars. This isn't the first time we've seen Team USA play against Team WNBA. The last time we saw this matchup was in 2021 in Las Vegas, when Team WNBA outshined Team USA 93-83. When it came to voting, it pretty much stayed the same. All active players were allowed to receive votes even if they were on Team USA. The voting was a combination of 50% from the fans, 25% from the players, and 25% from a national panel of sports writers and broadcasters, regardless of conference affiliation. The top 10 players with the most votes were automatically named to participate in the All-Star Game, but any player who was in the top 10 and already on Team USA was suited up for the national team. Kalia Copper was one of the players to receive the highest votes, but since she will be playing for Team USA, she won't be added to the WNBA team. This year saw a huge spike in voting for the All-Star Game. Voting went up 600% from 2023. Last year, no player received 100,000 votes. This year, Caitlin Clark led the pack with 700,735 votes. The WNBA All-Star Game festivities kicks off this Friday with the Starry 3-Point Challenge and the Kia WNBA Skills Challenge.
The Phoenix Suns played in their first NBA 2024 Summer League game over the weekend, and things did not go their way. They lost 90-73 to the Warriors. The Suns were led by guard Michael DeVoe, who scored 19 points, while the Suns' 2 2024 draft picks struggled, combining for just 12 points. Summer League head coach Vince LaGarza said the team will look to move the ball better next week.
We got to be better, help our guys, give them some solutions versus switching. But their switching was successful because I think our guys kind of just played ISO ball, playing for themselves. We lost kind of the movement that we've been working on during camp. And so, that's something we can work on and try to get better this week.
The Suns' next Summer League game will be on Tuesday against the Indiana Pacers.
Meanwhile, former Perry High School basketball phenom Cody Williams made his debut in the NBA 2K25 Summer League this weekend. The Utah Jazz drafted Williams 10th overall, and he shined in his first game in Las Vegas. Williams got to share the moment in front of his older brother and current Oklahoma City Thunder player Jalen Williams. Cody put on a show in front of his family, scoring 21 points. He says it's truly a blessing to put on these performances with his brother watching.
It's a huge honor, to play in front of my brother, really. It's very rare you have two brothers in this position. And, 2 years ago, he was in the same spot I was. So I think just not only being able to go out there and compete at this level, this is a dream come true for me, but have my family and friends there to support me, have him courtside watching and cheering me on. I feel like that's just like the best feeling in the world.
The two were both coached under Sam Duane Jr. at Perry, and Williams will continue Summer League play with the Jazz on Monday against the Kings.
The Arizona Rattlers are riding a 2-game win streak to move to 10-5 on the season. Front and center of those wins is quarterback Dalton Snead.
Yes, Snead is an Arizona product who came back home after winning last year's IFL championship for the Bay Area Panthers. Our Carly Koskovich has more on Snead's journey.
Playing professional football is a dream to many and a job to few. Most young players aspire to go straight to the National Football League, but for Arizona's Dalton Snead, the journey to become a professional quarterback has been a little different.
The transition most of the time from college to the NFL can be difficult for players. You're moving from somewhere where you're a guaranteed spot, you're at a 4-year, you're kind of locked in, so to speak, to now it's a business.
Snead's story actually begins here at Horizon High School. Not just the start of his quarterback career, but where he met the love of his life and in the mix, his business partner.
We met in high school and so ran spots in 10th grade.
With the help of his wife, Snead is keeping his football dream alive. But given the limited resources in the IFL and the short season, the QB needed to create his own business with the help of his brother-in-law.
At Snead Diagnostics, we calibrate the forward-facing cameras back to their manufacturer specifications.
I'm in football for half the year, right? So when I come into the football season, I like taking all of my business stuff and kind of putting it on to my employee, which is one of the best employees in the world. I would argue he is awesome. He takes care of everything. I love him. Actually, I say like a brother, but he's my brother-in-law.
Whether it's on or off the field, Snead's business mindset has led him to success in both areas.
He's passionate about the game of football, and he's passionate about the business he started as well, providing ADAS calibrations for vehicles.
Getting to the Rattlers and starting Snead Diagnostics has not been an easy path. But through it all, his wife Bethany has seen him turn adversity into positivity.
He was signed at CFL. They called it APEX. So everything got canceled. All the pro day got canceled. The trials got canceled. The first season of the CFL got canceled. And so he was just here kind of in limbo, training like, what's going to happen from this?
Dalton is proving that all great quarterbacks have the ability to make something out of nothing. And with aspirations to move on to the NFL, Snead continues leading his business and his team to new heights. In Glendale, I'm Carly Koskovich for Cronkite News.
Snead and the Rattlers are back in action this Saturday as they take on the Gunslingers in San Antonio. Coming up next, a young player steps foot into the big leagues.
A starting pitcher from Saguaro High School was drafted into the MLB.
The Saguaro starting pitcher was drafted 24th overall by the Atlanta Braves into the 2024 MLB draft.
This is Regan Gallo right downtown Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention. Everyone here is excited, especially the delegates, for being back in person after being virtual for a pandemic in 2020. We have a lot coming to you next after the break.
Plus a wet weekend for some of us in the valley. So is there any more rain in our future? Your forecast is next.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage.
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to see.
And entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Innovation at the Walter Cronkite School is pushing the boundaries of traditional journalism.
Storytelling has evolved over the years. This is part of that evolution.
Students in the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Lab are using emerging technology to create scenes in augmented and virtual reality, coding playable games, and bringing the audience into the story.
They're only limited by their imagination and their willingness to learn.
Find out more at cronkite.asu.edu.
Welcome back. A young starting pitcher from Saguaro High School's hard work has paid off.
Cam Caminity's future may be brighter after being drafted into 2024 MLB draft. I was at Cold Beer and Cheeseburgers in Scottsdale last night for his watch party.
With the 24th pick of the 2024 MLB draft, the Atlanta Braves select Cam Caminity.
It's a childhood dream come true for 17-year-old native Cam Caminity as he was selected in the first round of the MLB draft. He and his teammates are proud that all of his hard work has paid off.
I'm just super excited, a little nervous. I have no clue where I'm going to end up, so that's kind of scary, but I'm excited to go wherever I get chosen to go.
Caminity reclassified from the class of 2025 to the class of 2024 in June of last year. Saguaro High School says they worked closely with him and his family to help graduate early.
It's a great community. Saguaro, there's a lot of great people there always helping me get to my best position I can be in, like classing up. They really helped me. Saguaro really helped me get all my classes in a schedule.
Our principal, Ann Oxiger, and our entire staff did everything we could, worked with his family to make sure he could get on a track to graduate early. I think he had to take 9 classes that first semester.
His family is still in shock how quickly he grew up and of this accomplishment.
Not many parents or grandparents get to see their kids, grandkids go to the Major League Baseball, and so it's just unbelievable. Quite an experience.
Caminity also won the 4A AIA state championship this year at Saguaro and the Arizona Gatorade Player of the Year. Safe to say, there's a lot to celebrate for the young star in 2024.
Caminity was the first high school pitching prospect taken off the board and one of the youngest players drafted.
Here in the Valley, kids went from watching the Suns to now hitting the court with their favorite players, giving them the opportunity to learn how to play the Suns way. The Phoenix Suns and Mercury hosted a summer camp for kids. Since 1999, Junior Suns and Junior Mercury leagues have been providing kids with opportunities to learn what it takes to win both on and off the court. The Suns continue to make these camps special by creating moments they won't forget, like meeting Suns power forward David Roddy. However, Roddy wasn't the only Suns player to make an appearance. Mark West also made an appearance and left some words of wisdom for these future stars.
Yeah, well, so it gives kids of all skill levels and all ages a place to play. So we make our camp open to everybody so that if you're just learning or you're a really skilled player, you can come play, get some basketball experience, and just learn how to play the game that we all love.
Well, Jack, it's been awfully warm for those attending the summer camp, but Mother Nature did cool things down a bit over the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. We did see a storm move into the valley Sunday night, dropping temps just a bit. So what can we expect for the rest of the week? Our Carly Koskovich joins us from the Cronkite Weather Center with more.
All right, so we have another very warm evening tonight as 9 p.m. is still sitting above 100 degrees at 102. But as we hit 10 p.m., we're going to get some slight cloud coverage, bringing us a little lower at 99. But this past weekend, we did have a lot of rain, so we see the lows are just a little bit cooler than normal. But with that humidity, that 89 might not feel so cool. Take a look at that Flagstaff at 58 degrees. Yes, it looks cool, but like I said, with that humidity from this past weekend, it might be a little bit warmer. As for the highs, if you can stay indoors if you're in Phoenix, that is preferred because that 110 along with that humidity is going to be pretty brutal. 85 in Flagstaff and 94 in Tombstone, and it's pretty scattered around the rest of the country. As you can see in that Midwestern area, we have a lot of movement. But if you take a look at that southeast side of Arizona, we're fluctuating a little bit in thunderstorm and hitting us with that monsoon. Going into the rain forecast, you can see it's kind of spreading out throughout Arizona, hitting us in that southeast side around Sierra Vista and a little bit up north in the Grand Canyon as well, but it does miss Phoenix. So we are still sitting in that moisture from this past weekend, and it's kind of fluctuating in and out of rain, but the chances of rain are probably not going to hit us until this weekend. As we can see, tomorrow we have some chances of rain, that 20%, but going into Thursday, we're still at that cool 90 degrees, but with that 10% chance of rain. This weekend, it's going to be 113, 114. With that humidity, it's going to be very warm. So as we head into next weekend, please stay indoors and stay hydrated. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Carly Koskovich.
Arizona isn't the only state having a heat wave this summer.
The city of Las Vegas is experiencing high temperatures, highs of 115 degrees for almost 7 days now. According to the National Weather Service, the highest temperature that Vegas has seen was on July 7th. With a temperature of 120 degrees Fahrenheit, this summer's heat has been touching cities from across the country, making summer 2024 one of the hottest so far. Coming up next, a look at news from across Arizona and the nation.
That's right, and the Republican National Convention is underway in Milwaukee. Former President Trump is now the official GOP nominee, and he announced his pick for his running mate. We'll have a report from the convention coming up when we return.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Coming up on the cut.
Coming up on the cut.
Coming up on the cut.
How students can build their broadcast journalism portfolio with opportunities to learn more about on-air reporting and studio production.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network and on X at @CutASU.
The Republican National Conference kicked off on Monday in Milwaukee. With a full week of conferences, Arizona will be eager to hear from state delegates and dignitaries like Carrie Lake.
And that excitement was certainly evident on the floor as Arizona pledged all 43 of its delegate votes to former President Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump!
Pursuant to the announcement of the delegation and rules and procedures of this convention, Arizona, 43 votes, President Trump.
But that wasn't the only big news. President Trump also revealed his pick for vice president, selecting U.S. Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate. Mr. Trump said via a statement that Senator Vance is, quote, the person best suited to assume the position of vice president of the United States. Cronkite News reporter Regan Gallo is on the ground at the convention.
She describes the mood especially as the convention follows just 2 days after the attempted assassination on former President Trump.
Hey everyone, yeah, we made it to Milwaukee and I wanted to give a visual of just kind of the scene. So over here, this is just one of many of the barricades to get into the actual convention. And as people are still trying to figure out their way around here in downtown Milwaukee today, it is hot, it is humid, and people are having to walk a long time to get to the correct security checkpoints. This morning, Team Cronkite, as we were getting, and we actually ran into Vivek Ramaswamy, as he couldn't even get bypast some security because it has been so locked down since the events on Saturday.
We have seen state and local police as well as Secret Service on horseback, bikes, and motorcycles.
And we probably spoke to more police officers than we did just street people. You know, it was amazing and we felt super safe.
But security is not dimming the mood. We have found some attendees from Cave Creek, Arizona, who are excited to be back in person after 2020 was virtual after the pandemic.
Just nice being with people that like Trump like we do.
Yeah.
And we're so happy to be here and to be happy.
This came moments after the announcement that former President Donald Trump selected J.D. Vance as his vice president. This family supports the selection.
Just excited that we have our president alive.
Right. And we know our vice president.
Yeah, we're glad.
In Milwaukee, locals are excited to have all the hubbub in their backyard. Even with all the traffic and closures in their neighborhood, locals like Connie Krause are honored to host the RNC.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It's very exciting to have the convention here in Wisconsin, especially considering, you know, that the RNC could have chosen so many other places and they chose Wisconsin. So it's very special.
And Monday is only the beginning, and we are looking forward to hearing from Arizona notables this week, including 3 everyday Americans, a rancher, a businessman, and a single mother. In Milwaukee, Regan Gallo, Cronkite News.
Regan and the team of Cronkite reporters will be in Milwaukee all week. As for the Democratic National Convention, that will kick off in mid-August in Chicago.
The federal classified documents case against former President Trump has been dismissed. The judge in the case, Eileen Cannon, ruled on Monday that the appointment of the special counsel violated the Constitution. Special counsel Jack Smith had charged the former president for allegedly mishandling top secret documents after leaving the White House and accused Trump of endangering national security. Smith can appeal the decision.
Back here in Arizona, evacuation orders have been lifted for people living near the Freeman fire. Burning in Pinal County so far, the fire has scorched more than 32,000 acres and is about 65% contained.
Meanwhile, hundreds of people have been forced to evacuate because of the Watch Fire, burning near the San Carlos Apache Reservation in southeastern Arizona. So far, more than 2,000 acres have burned. Several evacuation areas have been opened for residents there, and the Arizona Humane Society disaster team has been deployed to help care for animals in need in the area. The fire is believed to be human-caused. Coming up next, 4 new flamingo hatchlings have found a home.
Before hatching, a few baby flamingos took a trip across the pond. They've already traveled more than I have.
The flamingo eggs were moved from America to a zoo in the United Kingdom, where 4 of them hatched.
3, 2, 1. Cronkite News. Get real professional experience in areas such as reporting, broadcast editing, and behind-the-scenes production, such as technical director and audio.
Kill the mics.
Or go out in the field and cover important local stories.
To be able to learn and master the English language.
In a fun, welcoming atmosphere. Cronkite News. The future starts now.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
and develop your skills with the latest technology.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sensei Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Baby flamingos from America have found a new home in the United Kingdom.
These little birds have been added for the zoo's diversity. The Whipsnade Zoo is in the United Kingdom got the flamingo eggs from a zoo in America. The 4 new hatchlings are to add genetic diversity to its existing flock. The hatchlings are being looked after by the zookeepers who are raising them by hand. Zookeepers are feeding the baby flamingos 4 times a day on a liquid diet. Once the baby flamingos become strong enough, they'll start to eat solid foods.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Jack Bartlett.
And I'm Katrina Villarreal. Thank you for joining us.
And to see the top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.